There was a time when finding the perfect song felt like a mission. You weren't just listening, you were building something, a mood, an identity, a soundtrack to your life that nobody else heard. And yeah, it probably came with a virus and a sketchy file name, but LimeWire gave us access to everything we couldn't afford and everything we couldn't say out loud. This is when music hit different. Hey, I'm Alex, and this is Find a Millennial Diary. Today's question: why did music feel like therapy, identity, and rebellion all at once? Because when life felt chaotic, we didn't have the language to explain it. But we had playlists, we had lyrics, we had burned CDs. And if you were one of us, well, you also had LimeWire. And you risked it all for a bootleg Evanescence MP3 that sounded like it was recorded underwater. Let's talk about why that mattered more than anyone realized. See, before we knew how to journal, we listened. Before therapy was even a thought, we put our headphones on and escaped. Music said the thing we couldn't: breakups, anger, being misunderstood, feeling like the weird kid, feeling like no one saw you, except maybe Avril Lavigne or Nas or whomever you downloaded. Now, music wasn't background noise. It was the main character. It wasn't just sound. LimeWire wasn't just a download tool. It was freedom. We couldn't afford every album. We for sure didn't have Spotify algorithms. We had to dig, risk our parents' computers, rename mislabeled tracks, wait 30 minutes for one file that might actually be a virus. But when it worked, magic. You didn't just find a song, you found yourself. You curated your emotions, burned mixed CDs like they were memoirs. And no one can tell you who to be because your playlist already knew. Remember walking to school with headphones in, pretending the world was a giant music video? Yeah, that wasn't cringe. That was actually coping. Music gave us control over moments when we actually had none. It gave heartbreaks a beat, gave boredom a pulse. It made a 10-minute bus ride feel like a scene in a coming-of-age movie. And that mattered because when your real life felt too small, too loud, too out of control, you still had a say in what played next. Why did music hit different? Well, because it was ours. It wasn't streamed. It was earned. It was saved, downloaded, burned, written on. It shared secrets within the lyrics. And yeah, LimeWire is long gone, but the feeling, still here. That rush when the right song hits at the right time, it's still real. That lyric you haven't heard in years that makes your chest just beat out loud, still healing. Music made space for us before we even knew we needed it. Hell, it still does. Next time on Millennial Diary, I Miss Me. Where did that kid go? We'll talk about the version of ourselves we left behind and how to reconnect with them. Not out of regret, but out of love. But until then, play the old tracks. Hell, burn yourself a new playlist. Be the main character in your music video because your story, hell, it deserves a soundtrack. And this is fine.
Goodbye.